Shalom, Yasha Allah. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. The honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that pushes great gospel in sincerity and truth. I'm the brother Tazakai Yahweh from the Great Millstone, Indianapolis camp. Coming at you another lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing to be edifying. Got an article here from CNN that reads how Iran's protest transformed into a national uprising. This article came out today, October 13th, 2022, the year Yahweh Bashem Shai turned it up. We got a little, normally I play these videos and it'd be, I don't know, it is like, I don't know, it cuts off the screen for some reason. So, if you want to go look into it, you definitely can find videos like this. But it says what protesters says Iranian security forces firing military-grade bullets at houses. Man, and that's something. They say nearly a month after the start of nationwide protests, parts of Iran now bear the hallmarks of battle zones, with flares lighting up skies, gunfire ringing out, and bloody scenes recorded in video footage. I am recording this video about the situation in Senadash, said one demonstrator, his face covered with a black scarf and dark glasses, in a message to CNN from the Kurdish majority city in western Iran, where some of the most dramatic images have emerged from the protests despite a near total internet shutdown in the area. Last night, the security forces were firing in the direction of houses. They were using military-grade bullets, he said. Until now, I hadn't heard such bullets. People were really afraid. A video apparently shot from rooftops showed that what appeared to be clashes between young protesters and heavily armed security forces. Bullets and flares crossed the night sky, and a cloud of dust and smoke covered the city blocks. And let's say right here, mother of Nika Shakarami, teenage protester found dead in Tehran, denies daughter fell from a building. So I don't know. I guess she must believe that she got thrown off it, whatever the case may be. But this is one of the it's many reasons why they protested. Is gonna go ahead and get into it. Say at street level, other videos show protesters throwing rocks at police, with the officers sometimes traveling in the procession of motorcycles, who appeared to be shooting at the crowd. Large numbers of Iran's elite revolutionary guards have been participating in the crackdown in addition to local police, say activists in Senadash, who accuse authorities of lashing back indiscriminately. According to Oslo-based Kurdish rights group Hengal, a 7-year-old boy died in his mother's arms on Sunday after security forces fired into a crowd of protesters. They say, while it is impossible to independently verify a death toll from such clashes, gruesome images circulating online and eyewitness testimonies collected by CNN as well as rights groups point to the bloodshed. Videos show the driver in the city lying dead with a large gunshot wound in his face. Activists said he was honking his horn in solidarity with protesters. People gathered next to a burned motorcycle in Iranian capital Tehran, October 8th. Right? It says in Senadash, they shoot the people honking their horns with bullets, and they shoot young and old alike, said another protester in a video message to CNN. The injured don't go to hospital because if they go there plainclothes, police will arrest them. We are protesting for freedom in Iran, for the prisoners and for the condemned, for the people of Iran calling for the regime to go. Everyone wants this regime to go. More than a protest for reform. Despite the government's repeated claims of having restored calm, the scenes are being replicated throughout the country to varying degrees, with the Kurdish majority west of the country appearing to bear the brunt of the crackdown. With remarkable defiance, Iranian people keep pouring into thoroughfares across the country. The protests were first ignited by the death of 22-year-old Masa Amini, also known as Zina, who died nearly 1 month ago after being detained by the country's morality police. But demonstrators have since coalesced, I believe, around a range of grievances with the regime, right? So similar to what happened with the whole George Floyd thing. That happened. It sparked off pandemonium throughout the whole entire country. So a death of somebody, I guess, could have been, could have been a wrongful death or a situation that they probably could have did it another way. But hey, things happen. So looks like that's like the main thing that ignited this, right? It's increasingly activists and experts are characterizing the protest as a national uprising and one of the biggest challenges to the Iranian regime since its founding. This is not a protest for reform, Raham Alvendi, an associate professor of history at the London School of Economics, told CNN. This is an uprising demanding the end of the Islamic Republic, and that is something completely different to what we've seen before. It says, I guess that's that image of that person who was killed. So I guess it was a woman. It says, in the last month, Iran's protesters have targeted the economic and political nerve centers of the regime. Videos show people throwing rocks at police in the center of Tehran. In the capital's bazaar, security forces were seen running away from demonstrators. Even in the conservative cities of Mashhad and I guess Qom, the heart of the regime's power base, demonstrators crop up frequently. Some gas and oil refineries have also turned into sites of protest, which are rapidly spread in the country's southwest. The country's Council of Oil Contractor Workers has said it would potentially call a strike and pause oil production. And we say the petroleum industry is the lifeline of Iran's economy, which has been buckling under the strain of U.S. sanctions unleashed by the Trump administration in 2018 and sustained by the Biden administration. U.S. officials have been in indirect negotiation with Iran for a year and a half in bid to restore a landmark 2015 nuclear deal, which former President Donald Trump withdrew from 4 years ago. That will see Iran curb its uranium enrichment program in exchange for sanctions relief. Video suggested that the demonstrations at the refineries began as protests over wages, but then transformed into anti-regime protests, with laborers chanting "Death to the Dictator," a reference to Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. So it says around the country, protesters have pushing for economic strikes with some success in Kurdish majority areas where the protests are believed to be more organized than elsewhere in the country. Social media videos show lines of shops shuttered in Tehran's bazaar, and a number of stores have closed in recent days. Though many merchants say they did so to protect their shops from the protests and the crackdowns that follow. A general strike, which Iranian activists have called for, has yet to materialize. Labor strikes are loaded with historic meaning in Iran. In 1979, oil and gas refineries played a critical role in the popular movement that overthrew the pro-Western Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi and paved the way for the Islamic Republic. Tip of the iceberg. More widespread protest action by workers and merchants, experts say, could mark another escalation in the protests. If there is a nationwide general strike, what can the government do really? Said Alvendi. That would completely paralyze the state and would show the powerlessness of the state in the face of this movement. Meanwhile, the crackdown continues to intensify in various parts of Iran, most notably in the Kurdish majority north and northwest, where allegations of the mistreatment of the ethnic minority was already widespread. It says, Hengal, the Kurdish rights group, believes that the violence against protesters being reported from the region is just a drop in the ocean, with only partial information emerging about the crackdown. Authorities have sporadically shut down the internet across Iran in an apparent bid to squash the, I guess it's supposed to be squash, I believe it's supposed to be, the protests, with the Kurdish majority parts of the country experiencing the longest shutdowns according to activists and internet watchdog NetBlocks. A major disruption to internet access has occurred since 9:30 a.m. in Iran on Wednesday, according to NetBlocks. Kurdish activists say that authorities have also shut the area's landline network, arguing that the bloodshed seen in the videos could just be the tip of the iceberg. The Iranian regime and its security apparatus has no limits, said Mamyar Hassani of Hengal. They know no limits, right? And this is going on. Another article related to this, it said over 1,000 protesters have been arrested. Keep people being killed, being shot. They're going after security forces and the Revolutionary Guard popping people, shooting people. So, like I say, this is what's going on in various parts of the world. A lot of places have protests going on, but as you see, each and every protest, they get what? Seemingly more violent and more violent and more violent. But, going to this earlier, came to here earlier, this is all part of the prophecies. This is all part of the signs of the coming of Yahweh Shem Shai. These is all, like I said, end time prophecies. These things must then all come to pass. Right? This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, right? These signs, well, again, will you measure the time diligently by what? Tying what is happening on in the real time today, and you tying it into the scriptures, the words of Yahweh Shem Shai. And the saying, when thou seest part of the signs, which mean these prophecies past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is a very same time where the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And this protest and these things, these various things that's going on around the world, these are all visitations of Yahweh Shem Shai. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars, right? Uproars, civil unrest, uprisings, riots, you know what I'm saying? Protests. When there's, earthquakes and uproars of other people in the world, right? Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were even before thee, even from the beginning. So yes, protests. Those are part of the prophecies of Yahweh Shem Shai. Those are part of what? The visitations of Yahweh Shem Shai. It's not just a thing that people just band together and just do it. No, this is through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. Like I said again, it's a prophecy for these things to come to pass. To what? To signal what? The end. Right? It says, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, right? Esau is the beginning of the world, and Jacob is the beginning. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. Meaning what? There's an end to this rulership. There's an end to this world, so to speak. There's an end to this eon, and the one that comes after that will be ushered through Yahweh Shem Shai for the Israelites. Right? So it's like it. I think it's all good. Okay, it's lucky on that. So yes, there's an end to all things, right? There's gonna be an end to this man coming down. There's gonna be an end to all these wicked and evil ass regimes, as these people are protesting about. An end of all wickedness is coming, right? And it said, well, the end is manifest. So if you don't see it, that means what? It's evident. It's being made known that we are in those end times. We are in those latter times, whether you believe it or not. It say, even so, the times also the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. And these prophecies, these like I said, these storms, like again, these pestilences, these famines, plagues, these wars, death, destruction, these are all part of the powerful and wonderful works of Yahweh Shem Shai. And they definitely gonna end in great signs and effects. All these things, these prophecies, all these things that come to pass, these are a part of those things. Right? And we know that definitely those main effects gonna be what? When that nuclear destruction come to this world, to this eon, to destroy it, right? But before that come to pass, all these said perils, all these said prophecies must come to pass first, right? I'll get back to this. If I go to Luke 21 real quick, because even our Lord and Savior Yahushua HaMashiach said the same thing, just in a different way. This is there we go right here, Salakia. This is Luke chapter 21, verse 9. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. So that's why we're not giving the spirit of fear. We're not going to be scared. We're not going to be swayed. We're not going to be deterred. We're not going to, be ashamed when these things come to pass, because the Lord has prepped us and told us and gave us a game plan and gave us that spirit to understand, discern that these things must happen, right? It say, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Main reason why I went to this, going to a word, askastaseia, or sia, it's in the Greek. It says what? Instability, disorder, commotion, confusion, a tumult, right? A state of disorder, instability, disturbance, right? So these riots, these uprisings, these protests, that is showing a state of disorder, because if everything was in order, you wouldn't have these things. The people wouldn't be upset. They wouldn't be, coming to your doorstep, setting this on fire, setting that on fire, if things were in order, if there was stability. This is showing instability. And our Lord and Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach, prophesied those things that they was going to happen, they're going to come to pass as well. Going to the, and actually, we know through the spirit and power of Yahushua HaMashiach is, it's them that's bringing this spirit. Right? Look at this. It say, HaMashiach divides men. Luke chapter 12, verse 49. I am come to send fire on the earth. And what will I if it be already kindled? See, it said, how about Shemashai sending these fires, so to speak, these commotions, these sad things, these rumors of wars, these wars, right? These battles, all these things. It's the Lord, Yahweh Shemashai, has sent these, right? That's what it said. What will I if it already be kindled? See, it was already kindled, right? It was, like I said, it was well, going on and say this, but I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how I am straightened, right, put in the place of difficulty till it be accomplished. And we understand that going to ultimately the crucifixion. He had to, go through the things, going against the murmurs of our people, the hate, all the mean things, the mockers and the scoffing. He had to go through all those things, going to getting bruised and being put on the cross. So like he had to go through those things. So likewise, showing that he had to suffer. Likewise, his servants going to suffer as well. Right? And they say, well, suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth, right? That watered down Christian doctrine. God loves everybody. He come to send peace. He don't do evil. That's not scriptural. That's not biblical. Say, suppose that you think I am come to give peace on earth. I tell you what, nay, but rather division. And this is division. You got the common people going against the government. That's division, right? Well, all you got the people, citizens fighting against the security force. That's division. They're not on one accord. The government, the higher powers, whatever the case may be in whatever that said country or Iran, they're not on the same page. Likewise, it's over here in Babylon the Great. There's not no same page. Then it said the Kurdish group, they got different, groups. They got different beliefs, this and that. That's division, right? So like he said, if I come to send fire upon earth, that fire is already here. You experiencing it right now. Right? The aches and the pains, those birth pains, you're already experiencing those things right now. So we definitely know that we are in the end. Right? So this right here telling you that Yahushua HaMashiach came to send division. And he came and sent it back then. And it is most definitely happening right now. Because we understand that this is all going to lead up to his grand appearance when he cracked those clouds. So the fire is already kindled. It's already burning. Right? And it's going to continue to burn until it destroy and devour this current rulership, right? Let me see, what was another one? Oh yeah, back in 2nd Esdras. 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell in it. So woe, calamities, limitations more than woe. Destruction is coming to the world and to those who dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And you seeing people, these people are standing against each other, fighting. Who mainly got the swords? They said those security forces. They said they firing live rounds, not playing with you. We'll shoot you. We'll kill you. They got people throwing rocks, at the security force, stuff like that. They over there battling, going toe to toe, head to head. Right? It says, we know that this definitely gonna come in a greater fashion again over here in Babylon the Great. But the rest of the world, remember, he came to send fire on the earth. They ain't just in one place; that's everywhere, right? To send destruction. It says, instability. It say what? And for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. Right? Sedition is really you not necessarily doing anything, but you pretty much inciting the people through your words. So you can that's what sedition means. It don't really mean that you actually carrying out an action. I mean, you can say, well, the action was you saying it, but you're not literally doing anything physically with your hands. But like I said, that's you just inciting the people on what you're saying. So it must have been somebody in these Kurdish groups man, this is BS, this is that. We're tired of this. We gotta make a stand. We're gonna do this. Who's with me? Yeah, everybody. That's sedition, inciting people among men. And invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, right? So, in the sense, these security forces, the revolutionary guard, they're not regarding them. They don't give a damn about them. They don't care who you employ through the government or whatever regime it is. They mad, and they gonna do what they want to do. Because what? It say, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Because it's in the power of their hands to do this. Because why? The Lord Yahweh Shai put it in them to do what? To more, magnify that division that's upon earth. right? So they like if they was able to see, like, remember they was talking about, remove the supreme leader. If they was able to see him and get their hands on him, they'd come at him too. Just like what they was doing over there in what's that, Sri Lanka, man. They see, they try to kill you. That's why they ran through this mansion and in there chilling, kicking it, man. They trying to get you, not worrying about you, hitting you with rocks. Shit, I believe not too long ago, like a few months ago, the same thing happened over there in Kazakhstan, man. They get y'all. That's the mindset of the people, because they angry, you know. But these are the times, the times that we're in, Oh, as the scriptures say. No, but Salakia. Second Peter chapter 3, not Peter, I typed it in. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. And this is a perilous thing that's going on over there. And perilous times are happening everywhere around the world. But this is the time period that you are in. Right? Things are going to get worse, and they're going to get worse, and they're going to get worse until the great day of destruction and the deliverance of the elect and the destruction of the evildoers, the wicked, the wicked, Esau, Edom, the rest of the heathens, and 2/3 of our people. So these times will continue to become more challenging and more different, more difficult, Salakia, and more savage. Like, and that's the time period we in. So that's pretty much all I really got on that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to sincere Akim while Akwatim out there listening. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash, the honor to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that pushes great gospel and sincerity and truth. Shalom, Yasha Allah, Abai, Babal.